going on, everybody? Nick, aka Temperistic, coming to you live tonight through the power of the internet. And tonight, we've got some things to talk about. So this is going to be Let's Talk episode number 2. I was very pleased with how many views I got. I think it was a little bit over 100 on my first one, where I was just talking about what needs to be fixed for Halo 5, seeing how kind of broken Halo 4 is, and I was just talking about that. So a lot of you enjoyed it, I guess. So I'm just going to make another one here. Not going to be about Halo, a little bit about Halo, but I'm going to talk about some important things, some things that you may be talking about too, that you might want some other people's opinions on, so you can kind of create your own opinion or whatever. So I'm just going to get right to it. The first topic that I'm going to talk about tonight is, of course, going to be the game that just came out on November 5th, which is Call of Duty Ghosts. The series has been out for 10 years, exactly 10 years, I think, because the first Call of Duty came out in 2003. So, wow. Let's just talk about the whole entire Call of Duty series, just real fast. So, Call of Duty 1, I don't know how many people that are watching this have played the first Call of Duty, but you may not know this. The first Call of Duty had health packs. As you all know, the Call of Duty that you play now, you get shot, you hide behind a corner, and your health will slowly recharge. But the first Call of Duty, you actually did have to get health packs. I barely played it, but it was very fun, and it kept me going until now. I've played every Call of Duty, and they're pretty fun. So moving on to the second Call of Duty, which I did see on the Xbox 360. With great resolution, and it was very realistic compared to the first Call of Duty on the original Xbox. The third Call of Duty I played, it was fun. I didn't play, I forget if the first Call of Duty had multiplayer. I know the second one did. I didn't play that. The first multiplayer I did play with Call of Duty was in Call of Duty 3, and it brought a lot of versatility to me, and probably has helps me be the player that I am today. With it had like 4 different roles. You could be a support player, getting ammo to your teammates. You could be a medic, picking up your teammates. You could be a scout, which is a sniper, and then you could be an assault or a soldier class, just being on the front line shooting people. And that was fun too. The fourth Call of Duty, which I think is the first Call of Duty that they had on game battles. I'm not too sure. Where you could actually play for money, and that was Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, and that was very fun. That was the first Call of Duty where it had perks, and at first people were iffy on the perks. They didn't really know if it was for competitive play or not, but I think it was the first one to have score streaks, and the fifth one was Call of Duty World at War. I didn't play that one too much, but it was very different from all the other Call of Duties. It had a weird feeling to it. Like, I don't know, the maps were weird, and it didn't really feel Call of Duty. But then after that was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and that I don't really remember much of that. But it was pretty much the same feeling that you got from Modern Warfare 1. And then the third one, I think, was Call of Duty Black Ops? Or was it Modern Warfare 3? I forget which one came out before the other one. But both games, sick, really sick. And then, of course, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, which is the Call of Duty that I've put in the most time, probably. And that game is awesome as well. And now we're at Call of Duty Ghosts. So let's just talk about the transition. Overall, Call of Duty as a competitive game, in my personal opinion, I don't think Call of Duty as it stands right now is a very competitive game. I think it's a very, very fun game, funner than Halo 4. You get score streaks, you run around with all sorts of guns that people actually probably fire in real life, and that's why they like it so much. They can kind of relate to it. But just competitive gaming, the more randomness you have in a game, the less competitive it is. You want, if you make a smart play, you want to get rewarded for it. If you take a good route, you want to be rewarded for it. You don't want to get punished. It's just like I'll give you an example. Let's say I just took down the whole entire team. I'm grabbing the flag. I'm taking it back to my base to score a point. And little did I know, one of the enemy players that I killed, he's got a score streak, and let's say it's a lightning strike, and with that he can have jets fly over and throw 3 bombs at me, and then I'm dead. And just like that, I just don't like that. I think score streaks are fun, but I don't think they're for competitive play because that can happen. I make a great play and I'm pulling the flag and I should be rewarded with a capture. Instead, I'm dead and whatever. But that's why I don't really think, as long as they have score streaks in competitive play, I don't think Call of Duty is a competitive game. But Major League Gaming does make a lot of money off of it, and that is probably why they have it on the circuit, not because they think it's competitive. But it is still fun to watch and fun to play. But with Ghost coming out, they took out Capture the Flag, they took out Search and Destroy, and they took out Hardpoint, which I don't understand why they did that. I guess they're probably thinking the same thing that 3v3 Industries was thinking when they took out all the stuff that we liked from Halo 3 and when they made Halo 4. They're just trying to make something new, something fresh. Maybe they're thinking their fans are getting bored with the same old stuff, but truth of the matter is, they would rather have the same stuff because it's the core gameplay. If you're developing a game, you want to keep the core gameplay the same. You don't want to change anything. You change stuff, your fans are gonna, probably a good chance of leaving you. They're gonna, yell at you, scream at you, send you a bunch of messages that you don't want to receive, and it's just a dumb risk to take. Just if you're making a bunch of money off the stuff that you already know how to make, just keep doing that. But let's see. They didn't put a theater mode in the game, which I don't understand why. In before FaZe Clan quits and goes to another game. Rest in peace. Let's see. They took out League Play, and I heard from someone on Twitter that they're gonna make a MLG playlist. So we'll see how that turns out. They did replace Search and Destroy with Search and Rescue, which I think is a more competitive game type than Search and Destroy. It's pretty much the same thing. It's Search and Destroy, but the reason it's called Search and Rescue is because there's tags now. There's dog tags that you have to collect from your enemy and your ally. So let's say you die. On your dead body, there's going to be a tag that spawns right there, and either your enemy or your ally is going to pick it up. If your ally picks it up, you respawn instantly. If your enemy picks it up, you're not going to respawn until next round. So it's kind of brought a different way to play. You could go for the tag or you could bait it. So I kind of like it. I think it's more competitive. But they do have Search and Destroy in private matches, so that's good. But I also heard that they were having problems with playing Ghost on LAN. I went in there, and then right on the menu it says System Links. So if you can System Link, I don't know why there would be a problem. But I heard like there's some LAN issues or something. Kind of brings me back to Modern Warfare 2 or 3 or one of those. They couldn't play it online, I don't think, but it was very successful online. Anyway, Infinity Ward just released today or last night that on November 15th, Search and Destroy will be returning to matchmaking, so it'll be back. So that's good. I think Call of Duty is going to stay right where it is with Major League Gaming. I think that it's good enough. I don't think it's as good as Black Ops 2 because the maps, okay, so I said earlier, the developers that make Call of Duty, whether it's Activision, Infinity Ward, Treyarch, they want to make it realistic. You're playing as a a Marine or someone in the Army. You're fighting a war against foreigners in other lands, and they want to make you feel like you're actually there fighting in a war. So you're going to see broken buildings, debris everywhere, dust, random climate changes, and things that destroy the map. And that's cool. That's cool to look at. It's a fun dynamic, but it's just not competitive. It's not competitive, and I'm a competitive person. I want to play a competitive game. So the maps are just too big. They're too confusing to maneuver around. There's too much stuff everywhere. That's why you've seen some faces, some very popular celebrity personalities in the esports community trade in their game after the first 4 hours of playing, and they've gone back to Halo, or they're just done competing because they don't like the game, they don't like the maps, and I don't like the maps. I mean, I'm not going to trade my game because I like Call of Duty, and I always will like Call of Duty as long as it stays pretty much the same. But yeah, that's just where my thoughts are with Call of Duty. I think it's still going to be a great game to watch, and I don't think it's going anywhere. So, yeah. Let's see. Next topic. 11 minutes. Jesus. The next topic is going to be, if I can pull it up real fast, as my phone freezes. I think it's going to be oh my god. Choke City. It's going to be Halo. Oh yeah. Sorry about that. UGC, Knoxville, Battlefield Knoxville, Gandhi, Shockwave, Halo 3. Let's talk about it. So, in spite of AGL 10, aka Brad, running away to no man's land where nobody knows where he is, and canceling the event that people have already paid money towards, Gandhi is going to be holding an event January 31st through February 2nd in Kentucky, Battlefield Knoxville. And there's been 2 or 3 events held by AGL there, so all of you know where that is. And it's going to be Halo 3. But there's a catch. In order for the event to happen, there needs to be a minimum of 32 teams that sign up. And if that doesn't happen, the event's not going to happen. So the way I understand it is you're not going to pay for the whole entire pass until 32 teams are locked in. So what you're going to do is you're going to give them your PayPal information, your credit card, whatever information, and they're going to deduct $10 from your bank account, and they're going to hold it. They're going to just hold it. They're going to mark you down on a list or whatever and wait for 32 teams. The 32nd team signs up, bam. They will then take the rest of the money out of your account, and then boom, you're signed up, you go to the event, you sign some papers, you get a wristband or whatever, and then you're good to play, you're registered. If not all teams come, then you will definitely be refunded the money within 3 to 5 days, I think Gandhi said. And if you don't, he said that you can spam him as much as you want and try to kill him or whatever. But I'm pretty sure we're going to get 32 teams, because if you've seen how many teams we got for Halo 4 at AGL, there's no doubt in my mind that we're not going to get 32 teams. And they said that if they do get more than what they expected, they will up the cap to 48 teams or 64. I don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised if we actually did get 64 teams, because there are a lot of players that are playing Halo 3 right now and trying to go to this event. So it's a great event. I'm not going to go to it just because I can't stand Halo 3 online. It's a horrible game online, but it's a very competitive game. It has a ranking system. So anyway, I'm trying to find my topics. I just remembered that one. The next topic that I wanted to talk about was, I guess we're just going to talk about Halo 5. So, and I'm not gonna do what I did last time. I'm not gonna talk about everything. I'm just gonna say this. So, I have a lot of faith in Halo 5. I don't think 343 Industries can make a shittier game than Halo 4. I just don't think that's possible. I think they've learned from their mistakes. They've taken a lot of feedback from the community, and they are listening, which Bungie didn't do. Even though Bungie was an amazing development organization company that made Halo, they didn't listen. That was their main flaw. They just didn't listen to the community. They, I don't know, had egos, or they just didn't. They didn't have a community manager. They didn't want to listen. But 343 has like 3 or 4 awesome community managers that you can talk to anytime, and they'll answer your questions. And they're very good at taking feedback from the community. And I have no doubt in my mind that Halo 5 will be back on the LG Pro circuit come summertime of 2014 when the game launches on the Xbox One, just because of how open these guys are. They have Bravo, who coached Triggers Down and has been in the competitive scene for a long time, since Halo 2 days. They've got Neighbor, same thing, except he was a Halo Pro, not a Halo coach. They've got... who else do they have? Can't remember. Ghost Yami is working with them. He'll probably be the guy in charge of making game types again for Halo 5, and he did a phenomenal job making the game types for Halo 4. The game types and the maps are phenomenal in Halo 4. It's just the gameplay that keeps kicking me off, man. I just can't stand the gameplay. Let's see what else I wanted to talk about Halo 5. They as long as they advertise, as long as they put the work in after they put the work in on the game, which they're already doing, and they just advertise the shit out of it, and they just get involved with the competitive community and try to get the word out about the game and all the events and tournaments it's going to be a fantastic game, and there should be no problem having 500,000 concurrent players after 6 months of the game being done. So as long as they just don't fuck up and they just fix their problems, which they already have, then we're going to have a fantastic game come Halo 5. So I'm excited for that. What else did I want to talk about? I want to talk about the first-person shooter community. I want to talk about the Battlefield 4 community. I want to talk about the Halo community, the Call of Duty community, and I'm worried, I'm worried about the first-person shooter community, because it seems like a lot of people don't want to play Call of Duty Ghosts, and a lot of people don't want to play Halo 3 because of the online bullshit. A lot of people don't want to play Halo 4 because it's a bad game. A lot of people don't want to play Battlefield 4 because it's just 30 frames per second, and it's just, some people just don't like that big team battle kind of feeling, So right now, if you're someone who has been playing first-person shooter games, and you've only been playing first-person shooter games since you can remember when you started playing video games, if I could tell you which game to play, it would be Halo 4. Just because when you look at Battlefield 4, okay, if you're doing it for the money, if you want to have a game to compete in for money, and you're trying to go pro, I'll tell you to go play Call of Duty, because that's where the money's at, and all the opportunities that you desire are within that game and that community. So I would send you over there. But if you want to get better for Halo 5, if you really want to be a Halo pro and you want to see where Halo takes you, just force yourself to play Halo 4. Just beat it into you that you got to play Halo 4, because I promise you, Halo 5 is going to be more like Halo 4 than any of the other Halos. Yes, there are things you can take from each Halo, but Halo 4 is a game that you want to play to get ready for Halo 5. And I'm not going to really touch Battlefield 4 anymore. I mean, I played the campaign, I beat it. It was okay. I don't think it was worth my money. It's 30 frames per second. It's just too big for me, I'm an aggressive person when I'm playing video games, I like to be up in people's faces, but it's kind of hard for me to be up in people's faces when I can't really find them around the map, because the maps are too goddamn big, and it's like, it's not a competitive game. I want to play a competitive video game, so I can't play Call of Duty, I can't play Battlefield, so I gotta play Halo, I gotta play Halo 4. So I'm not playing Halo 3 because of the online BS. I'm not playing Call of Duty Black Ops You know my reasons. I don't think it's competitive. And then Battlefield 4, 16 versus 16. I don't understand why anybody would think that that's competitive at all when you've got vehicles and all this stuff. It's fun, but yeah. And just picture for a second 32 monitors on LAN on a stage playing Battlefield 4. 16 lined up that way and 16 lined up that way. I don't understand. I don't even know. I don't even want to know how they would set that up. It would probably look really freaking stupid. I'll tell you that much. I don't know how people would communicate with their team, but it wouldn't look good. So Halo 4 is my game. I'm going to try and force myself to play that game. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't like it, but in my opinion, it is more competitive than Call of Duty and Battlefield 4 right now. And I don't think there's another first-person shooter to play. If you're looking for fun, if you just want to play video games for fun, you don't want to play a first-person shooter because there's not a good one out, I would advise you to play Assassin's Creed 4. I played it, I beat it, and it's fun. If you're one of those people that plays video games and you hate how you beat the campaign of a game and there's nothing to do after the game, then play Assassin's Creed 4 because there are tons and tons and tons of missions and things to do, things to collect, and places to go after, and bosses to beat after you beat the game. So, play that game. It's worth the $60, and it's got a great multiplayer. So, let's see. What else did I want to talk about? There's one more thing. I guess I can tell you what I'm going to do. I pretty much just did tell you what I'm going to do, but I'll tell you again. I'm going to play Halo 4. I'm going to write it out, see what happens with Halo 5, and I'm not going to be getting my Xbox One until probably early February. I'm going to wait until it comes out on the 22nd, and I know things are going to go wrong with it. It always happens with new systems that comes out. It's never going to stop. It's going to be stuff like red rings. You're going to get malfunctions, errors, just things happening. And I'll wait for that stuff to ride over, and then I'll get a brand new Xbox One in February, and hopefully it won't have any problems. Oh, that's what I did. I wrote it down on my phone, but I didn't save it. Oh well. I guess that's about it. I was thinking that there's one more thing I wanted to talk about. But yeah. Okay. Major League Gaming. I just want to talk about this real quick. Major League Gaming. What has happened to Major League Gaming, and where do I see them going? Okay, so talk about it real fast. They started in 2002 with Sundance DiGiovanni being the CEO, and then Mike Sepso being the chairman. And they started with Halo at the New York City National Championship, I want to say. And they also had Super Smash Bros. A little bit after that, or at the same time, not too sure. This was before I found out about Halo, and then they kept having tournaments. Then they had their first Halo 2 tournament in 2005, and Major League Gaming's game was Halo, and it was very successful. They had sponsors like Boost Mobile, Red Bull, and they had some basketball player was sponsoring a whole entire team by himself. So it was pretty popular. It was just Halo, and like I said, some side games, Super Smash Bros. I think they had Street Fighter or something. But then 2008, they picked up Halo 3, and then they had Gears of War as well. And gradually, moved on Halo Reach. At the same time, they had Tekken, they had Call of Duty. I think they still had Gears of War at that. They had like Gears of War 2 or 3 or something at the end of Halo 3. I don't know. I don't remember. And they had StarCraft, and they had League of Legends, and then they had Mortal Kombat, and Then Halo was taken off the circuit after Columbus 2012 because I don't know, they didn't like Halo. No, they weren't getting enough revenue. That was the problem. So let's say back in the day, they had 256 teams, and it sold out instantly back in the Halo 2 days and Halo 3 days. And so each team pass was $240, and each member of the team would pay $70. And if you times 240 by 240 240 by 256, you'll get like 44,000 something. So $44,000, and then I guess with that money they put most of it into the pot. So $20,000 for first place, $10,000 for second place, $8,000 for third, I think, $5,000 for fourth, so on and so forth. So they'd be left with like $18,000 or something, and I guess that was the revenue or something. I don't know if the sponsors gave them money for the pot or something, and they probably got money from vendors and other things like that gold membership, premium membership that they had when you were watching the stream to get all the benefits. And then they have their pro shop, they make money, and then they have some merchandise at the events that they make. So, with all that stuff, they were getting some revenue. But if they're not selling out passes, if they're not making money off the one thing that they get revenue from, and they're not gonna, they're not gonna get more revenue than they put in, then they're not gonna be happy. And if that happens enough times, which it did, they're gonna drop the game like they did. So they dropped that, and then they just had League of Legends, Call of Duty, and StarCraft, and then the government gave League of Legends pro players visas, and they recognized them as professional athletes. And then Riot, the people that make the game, made every pro player of League of Legends sign a contract saying, hey, we make the game, we are going to be holding tournaments, and they're going to be the only tournaments that you're going to be able to compete in, or we're not going to support you. And then I think they have some sort of copyright or something, like Major League Gaming would get in trouble if they tried to hold League of Legends tournaments anymore or something, because Riot holds the LCS, which I forget what it stands for, but it's the biggest League of Legends tournament in the world, I think. And then they drop StarCraft. I think, they dropped StarCraft, and then they're not picking it up for a reason, or maybe it's the same deal, they can't. But so whatever, Koreans aren't gonna be mad. They freaking have 2 TV channels for StarCraft in South Korea. So now pretty much Major League Gaming just has Call of Duty Ghosts and Dota 2, which they picked up. Dota 3, Dota 2. I don't even know. Dota something. So that's only 2 games. So I'm thinking they've got to pick up a third game. They're not gonna just have 2 games, because that's not how Major League Gaming works. They have a handful of games, 3 or 4, on multiple platforms. So I'm thinking they're gonna pick up a fighting game. I don't know which game it's gonna be. They've had problems with Super Smash Bros. Players in the past, so they're not gonna have that. I don't know, maybe Tekken, maybe Super Street Fighter, I don't even know. But it's closing in on 30 minutes, guys. Thanks for watching this. Just giving my opinions on some important topics, and that's about it. With my walkthroughs, I kind of expected to get about 20 views, somewhere around there, since I have almost 60 subscribers, so and they're not bots. I talked to pretty much almost every subscriber that I've gotten, so I know they're real. So I guess I'm pretty much done with walkthroughs if I'm just going to get like 5 views each video. And I guess the only videos I'm going to be making are Halo videos, if I get any sick clips, or if somebody sends me in something to upload for them. And then just these, whenever I have gathered enough topics to talk about, or you guys send me in topics that you want me to talk about, as long as they're relevant, gaming relevant, then I will talk about them. Other than that, like the video, share it on Twitter, Facebook. Get it around. If you don't want to watch it, that's fine. Just get it around to people that might be interested in gaming stuff like this. Halo, Call of Duty, Major League Gaming, all that junk. And I'm Temporisic, and catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Later.